All right. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen, on Wildcard weekend. I'm getting a little ahead of myself here. My team's
Super
got it.
Wildcard weekend.
Yes, super Wildcard weekend. That's right. We are the Ballhawks podcast on this Saturday evening, and it looks like my co-host for the day is none other than Chad Ocho Cinco Johnson, but it's actually Chris, in case you guys couldn't tell from that money ginger facial hair of his. What's happening today, dude?
Hey, buddy, what's going on? Yeah, happy to be here. We've been saying it all day. We're kind of idiots for not doing this sooner. We texted each other this morning at like 11 o'clock. We're like, I guess we really should have probably done like a playoff preview, hey? And Steve's like, yeah, we probably should have. And I'm like,
Would have been smart, right?
well, like, I guess we could still do it today. And then we're like, okay, but how do we hold ourselves accountable so that we're not like, but
It was just a mess.
here we are.
Yeah.
Just a mess. We're a mess. Hey guys, we're this is our first time podcasting during playoffs, so we're learning with you. We're learning with you. We're of course a part of the Dean Blundell network. You can find us over on Twitter at ballhawks_pod. You can find my account at phillipschris12. Steve probably said his, so don't worry about it.
I was tricking you this time. I specifically just motored through it.
Yeah. How was your Saturday?
Oh, Saturdays are always great. Love Saturdays. I love Saturdays a little more when football's playing too. I find that out about myself. Sometimes I wait for the Sunday game and I get a little restless. So whenever I can have a Saturday of football followed by a Sunday of football, and this year, for the first time ever in the NFL history, it's going to be followed by a Monday night football game. 3 days of football in the playoffs. I love it because at this time of the year, you kind of get fewer games and you know that the game shelf life is coming to an end, and it's kind of the bittersweet moment as you get close to the Super Bowl. So let's jump right in here. I guess we should first mention we did hold ourselves accountable for our predictions. I was kind of strong-armed into this one a little bit. Our good buddy Liam, who's I guess the show's resident Cincinnati Bengals fan, texted me a couple hours ago and said, yeah, I did see your stupid picks. And I said, well, come on, man. We both knew I wasn't going, like, there's no way in hell I was picking the Cincinnati Bengals. So I got that one wrong. What a finish that one was. We'll talk about that in a second. And I did hit on the Buffalo Bills. I think I remember your picks, but who did you have for today?
I had the Bengals, the new kids on the block, picking up the win over the Raiders, and I took the Patriots. Yikes! Yeah, I was picking kind of mostly based on coaching there. Belichick being the evil wizard that he is. But hats off to Sean McDermott and Josh Allen and the Bills Mafia for pulling out. Not just pulling out the win, but just stomping a mud hole in the chest of the New England Patriots, a la Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah, we'll get to that game in just a couple minutes here. Let's. Oh, go ahead.
I just wanted to add for anyone that is joining us tonight, if you guys want to join in on the chat and call Steve and I out on our terrible picks, be sure to join us over on our YouTube page, Ballhawks Podcast. You can jump in the comments there and we'll see them live on air. So come join us over on YouTube. But we're happy if you're just watching on Twitter as well.
Totally. Yeah, I don't think a lot of people still realize that there's some sort of mix up with Twitter and Restream, and you're not allowed to comment on there. So if you are looking to join the conversation, we'd love to have you. Just make sure you do that on YouTube or even our Facebook account. We should also give a little shout out to our sponsors. You're rocking the Bad Tattoo Brewing here in Kelowna. That hat. We do have, Chris is wearing his I wasn't set up to start taking my shirt off on camera here, but Chris is rocking our newest sponsor, Lake Therapy Apparel. We're going to show some of that swag off on our usual episode tomorrow, so make sure you check that out. But if you did want to go check out their website, you get a discount. I don't know about you, Chris, but I love paying less money for cool things. So if I'm going to buy cool things and I can get 10% off by using the code BALLHAWKS, you can do that at laketherapyapparel.ca. They've got some really sweet stuff. I think I have 6 things in my cart right now. I'm just deciding whether I want to add more before I hit the old take my money button. So you should too. Lots of really cool little kid stuff, I should say. There's a couple little sweaters I'm getting the kids so they can rock that in the spring when we start camping. Okay, let's give the Bengals a little bit of credit here. First playoff win since before the internet web was invented. Like
this is the first time that anybody will have ever been able to send a text message about the Bengals winning a playoff game.
Like you Bengals will send those messages through like AOL or anything like that. Or like
Bengals' last playoff win was 1991. The first text message was not sent until 1992. So welcome to.
I had to message him. I remembered he was either 1 year or 2 years younger than me. So he was 1.5 years old. 1.5 years old the last time the Bengals won a playoff game. So congratulations.
That half.
And yeah, 1.5. Well, you know, when you're a toddler, everything's like, I'm 1 3/4. And you're like, oh my gosh, how do you know how to do fractions already? Like, I'm impressed.
My daughter will be like, she's 7 now. So once she's 7.5, she'll be 7.5 right up until like the day of her birthday. I'm 7.5. I'm like, no, kiddo, your birthday's in a week. Like,
yeah, it's actually a really good time to start teaching your kid about fractions. Get out like the old tape measure and be like, okay, you're over a half now. Like maybe you're 7 5/8 right now.
I could like maybe pull out some like new era fitted hats to teach them at, but like the measuring tape, you have to remember, like these hands work in an office.
They are pretty baby butt smooth there.
Never swung a hammer.
So the Bengals win against the Las Vegas Raiders 26-19. You know, I didn't watch the whole thing. I was over at my parents' house. I watched a little bit into the second half, the third quarter. I finished the game up as I was, got home from their house. It didn't seem that close when you were watching it. It seemed like the Bengals kind of dominated most of the game. Joe Burrow was sensational, protected the football, 244 yards, 2 touchdowns. The Raiders did hold Joe Mixon to just 48 yards on the ground and just 28 through the air. That's impressive. Rookie Jamar Chase picking up right where he left off in the regular season. He just continues to prove that he can dominate NFL competition. 116 yards. He even had 3 carries for 23 yards. He was kind of the story for most of it. What did you think of the game, Chris?
Yeah, I was at work, so I was trying to watch it on my phone. I was kind of watching bits and pieces here and there. I think Jamar, like he finished the game with a good stat line, but it took a while for him to get his first catch of the game, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, like you said, it felt like the Bengals were going to run away with it. Yeah. And then, they suffered a few injuries on the defensive side, especially on that D line. I mean, they lost Trey Hendrickson. I think they lost a couple other guys as well. And Josh Jacobs on the Raiders side just suddenly gained a head of steam and kind of put the team on his back and said, all right, boys, let's go. Like, we're not out of this thing yet. So, what a fun finish.
That was a super fun finish.
I mean, the Raiders did get a little bit of help on a roughing the passer call that Derek Carr did a great job of selling. Maybe Tony Khan can look at signing Derek Carr to an AEW contract or something like that, because his selling is next level. But hey, you know, that's gamesmanship, especially in the playoffs. Like, you got to do those little things, and every yard counts. So if you can try to pick up a few extra by, you know, throwing your head back and the ref falls for it, then hey, good on you.
I mean, they did owe the Raiders something. I know you've seen it on Twitter. Burrow's scrambling out to his right just before he steps out of bounds. He chucks a dart. It's kind of like crossing the threshold of the end zone, and you just hear the loudest whistle possible, and kind of like you see a couple Raiders DBs just like freeze and stop for that split second. And Tyler Boyd catches the touchdown. There's, you know, a little bit of confusion. You can see Raiders players kind of looking at each other, looking to the sidelines. Like, I don't know. I can't speak for, you know, what if or who did it. I don't know the details of all of that stuff. A bit of a job on the Raiders, I guess you could say. It's a game of inches. It's a game of, you know, fractions of seconds. Who knows if a guy could have, you know, thrown a hand in there. I didn't honestly watch it, you know, enough to have an opinion on whether they got screwed. But I think I saw on Twitter that the official rule is if a whistle from an official goes during the play, what was it now? I should have screenshotted it.
The play is dead.
Yeah, the play's dead, and they would replay the down, I guess.
Yeah.
So Raiders fans, understandably, you're not overly happy when something like that happens. I don't know. I don't know if that really had an impact on the game. If I'm a Raiders fan, though, I'm probably choked about it. That's all I would say.
Yeah. If it happened to me, I wouldn't be happy about it. You know, if I was on the Bengals side, I'd be like, what are you talking about? There's nothing happened. Like, I didn't hear a whistle. I don't know. I'm end of the day, I'm happy for the Bengals. It's fun seeing these young teams with very exciting players do well and continue on into the next round. And a lot of pain and suffering. I mean, 31 years without a playoff win. So for the city of Cincinnati, it's got to feel pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. And just one more thing about that before we move on. I always try to, whenever there's like a call that could go both ways, and, you know, there's a bit of controversy with it, I always try to ask myself, like, how would I feel if I was a Raiders fan? And then how would I feel if I'm a Bengals fan? And I think you summed it up really well. If you're a Raiders fan, you're like, this is garbage. Like, we should at least have the chance, you know, to have that play redone. And you never know. Like, it wasn't like it was late in the game and it had no impact on the game. If they stop them there, that's a 4-point swing, and it changes kind of like the dynamics of what you have to do. So I understand it from that perspective. But then if I'm a Cincinnati Bengals fan, I'm trying to think to myself, we have probably been on the receiving end of bad calls as well, or you know, like the roughing the passer call. Like, you know, you get some go against you. That's just like the nature of sports. So at the end of it, it was a good game. It was exciting. Cincinnati moves on, and you know, if Kansas City wins, they get to play the Tennessee Titans in Tennessee.
Which I can tell you, my Titans friend of the show, Christian, is not very excited about the potential of having to face the Bengals.
No, I don't think anybody is. Like, this team is hot. They're young. They're kind of playing with house money. Like, myself and almost every other person in the world had them at the bottom of the AFC North, not making the playoffs at all, like improving their record from last year, but not making the playoffs at all. So really, like, you've got these young kids who are riding the highs of, like, everything is so new. They've got nothing to lose. They get to play just like free, fast, and loose. Like, they're a dangerous team. They're a very scary team going into next weekend. Maybe an even scarier team. The Buffalo Bills put an ass kicking on the New England Patriots 47-17. The Patriots were a top 5 ranked defense in the NFL in the regular season coming into this game. And the Bills almost put a 50 burger on them in like what, I don't know how cold it was there, but it didn't look comfortable, like warm. It looked pretty damn cold. Josh Allen throws for 5 touchdowns, 300 yards, didn't turn the ball over at all. Devin Singletary was running out of his mind. Isaiah McKenzie decided he was going to be like, you know, a dual threat player, kind of like a Deebo Samuel type today. Mac Jones had some rookie struggles, threw 2 interceptions. But you and I both kind of messaged each other right away on the first interception. It's 7-0. Mac Jones throws this deep ball, and Micah Hyde comes screaming out of nowhere to make an incredible catch. And as the game went on, I couldn't help but think to myself how big of an impact play that was to the, and it happened in the first quarter.
It changed the game.
You're right, Chris. It changed the entire game. Like Mac Jones looked defeated from that point on. And Buffalo was like, yeah, what do you got? Bring it right now.
Their defense got just an absolute high from that pick, and nothing was going to knock them down. I saw one thing was it's like, that is some Earl Thomas vibes with that Micah Hyde pick. Like, just like he came out of nowhere and just came flying in and just took it away. Nope, that's my ball.
Yeah, like, that was a really well placed ball. Like that, I always say, like, if you throw a ball like that, or anything in sports where you make a great throw, a great pass, a great shot, and somebody on the other team makes a ridiculous play to beat you, you can live with that. But it just seemed like, you know, the rookie sensation of Mac Jones was kind of like shell shocked. Like, that was my best throw. That should have been 7, and I can't score.
Yeah.
Like, it was,
or drops,
seen the
ghost,
right? Like, or drops.
Like I thought it was like, I was like, oh, he's got him. Like that. It was a gorgeous throw. And I didn't think Hyde was going to come down with it. I thought New England was going to get the touchdown there, or it was just going to go in, you know, bobbled and up in the air and just fall down. But yeah, it was blew my mind, man.
Yeah, I had to watch it on replay a few times to be like, how did he get to that ball? Like, in live time, I thought for sure that was, you know, a touchdown. We have our buddy Ryan Hank here from the PP1 joining in on the conversation. I did see his tweet. I did predict Josh Allen would get 89 rush yards. He got 66. Sorry.
So you were wrong, Ryan. Thank you for telling us.
The really interesting part of this game, though, is early on, you know, Ryan was onto something here. Early on, Josh Allen was running the ball very, very effectively. He was getting just like chunk yards, and it looked like New England had no answer for that. And just when he starts, you know, running kind of all over them, you know, for, I think there was like a, you know, a 17-yard run, a 26-yard run. He then just stops and throws the ball instead. And, you know, obviously Josh Allen is one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL for a reason. He can do it on, you know, through the air. He can do it with his legs. His passing today, he only missed 4 passes all game. And again, like, I think it's so understated how cold it probably, I could go check a weather report, but, you know, clear sub-zero temperatures, very hard to throw a good ball. You would think some of his receivers would have the New England hands that they had out there and drop a couple, but he played phenomenal. He led the team, obviously. But the person I was most impressed with, 2 people, Dawson Knox obviously made a ridiculous touchdown catch.
I can't believe how much time Josh Allen had to make that throw.
Yeah. Did you see that on the broadcast? It was something like just under 10 seconds, I think.
No, I was I think I just saw I don't think I just saw the replay of it. I was working on trying to get my ass out of work, so I wasn't watching football. So
Yeah. Yeah. Josh Allen had enough time to make a coffee, Ryan says. It's true. The offensive line there really just, I mean, New England's defense, if you hold a receiver for almost 10 seconds, you can't be expected to do more. Like if you're asking your secondary to stay in coverage for even 5 seconds, the other team's going to score. And yeah, it's just the Bills were shades of those early Bills teams that we thought could make a deep postseason run, and now they're showing exactly why.
they are who we thought they are. We let them off the hook.
Yeah. Okay, so we got through those two picks. We'll go a little faster, obviously, on our preview. So tomorrow, 3 games, sorry. Morning game is the Eagles at the Buccaneers. The afternoon game, the 49ers at the Cowboys. And then finally, we have the Steelers at the Chiefs. I'm going to let you go first. Let's finish off the AFC since both today's games were AFC. So let's go with the night game tomorrow. Steelers at Chiefs. Who do you got?
The Chiefs. I think it might be closer than we realize, just because the Chiefs' defense hasn't been great this year. But I mean, they seem to have been picking it up a little bit here later in the season. But yeah, give me the Chiefs. Ben Roethlisberger can't throw the ball further than 5 yards down the field. Patrick Mahomes. I mean, the Chiefs are really coming on late in the season as well. Really seem to kind of getting things figured out and getting their legs underneath them. They have played a lot of football these last 2 years, but I'm taking them to win at home in prime time.
Yeah, I think this one's a no-brainer. I got the Chiefs as well. A couple key injury notes to watch for that, could have a big impact on the game. Chiefs running back Clyde Edwards-Helaire is not going to play with the shoulder injury that he sustained later in the season. The Steelers are going to have running back Najee Harris. He had some sort of shoulder or elbow thing going on last week. He did manage to come in and finish the game off against the Ravens. And then the Steelers are going to get wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster back for this game. A little bit of just kind of like that shot in the arm that they need. Ben Roethlisberger, one of his favorite targets. Like you said, Chris, he doesn't like throwing the ball down the field because he can't anymore with his noodle arm. But Juju doesn't play that style of game. That's more of Chase Claypool's game, or even, Deontay Johnson on the sideline. So I think this one could be closer than what I think Vegas has it as minus 12.5 for Kansas City. I could see this game being within 10 points.
Yeah, I think so too.
Just because Mike Tomlin is, coaching goes so far in the NFL. It's so underrated. And, yes, Kansas City has Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy and Steve Spagnuolo as head coaching coordinators, but Mike Tomlin just doesn't roll over and die. There's just something about his coaching style. I could see this one being a 27-17 game for the Chiefs.
And if they're getting Juju back, I mean, it gives them an opportunity to maybe get a little creative with someone like Chase Claypool and use his size and his speed to put him in kind of that, Deebo Samuel, put him all over the field, send him on a jet sweep or whatever type of formation and see what you can create on offense with that.
Yeah, just be creative with your play calls. Use the insane amount of weapons Ben has at his disposal. So, that's the most, in my opinion, that's the most obvious, oh yeah, that game will, be Chiefs game. But don't be surprised if the Steelers make a game out of it. Ryan's chiming in again. Much like the Bills did to the Patriots tonight, I am torching this chair cushion. Go Cowboys. We have no idea what Ryan says half the time, but that's the fun of Ryan Hank if you've never got to interact with him. Okay, let's move on to Philadelphia Eagles at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Why don't you take the lead on this one, Steve?
Okay, it's easy. I got the Bucks. Touchdown Tim Brady just does not falter in the playoffs. He led the league in passing yards, in touchdowns. Um, I know Leonard Fournette won't be there, but they still have a good running game because of that offensive line. They're going to have Mike Evans there still. I just don't see how the Bucks lose to the Eagles, but again, I think this one is going to be closer than what people assume it is going to be. What do you have?
Give me the Eagles.
Oh,
In
here we go.
my upset of the weekend, and it's for the exact
Oh,
reason that you just said. They don't have Leonard Fournette. Can they trust Ronald Jones? Probably not. Who's Keyshawn
yeah.
Vaughn? I don't know. For receivers, Mike Evans is banged up. Chris Godwin is out. Antonio Brown is, I don't know.
In an
Has,
Uber.
has his Uber driver dropped him off yet? I have no idea. He's hanging out with Kanye West somewhere, probably. And their defense is pretty banged up. So get and I saw was it Levante David or Devin White? One of those two like linebackers, anyways, is also questionable. Might have been more on the doubtful side
Mhm.
for that game tomorrow. So yeah, that's my upset of the weekend. I have the Eagles over the Buccaneers.
Interesting. I'm just going to backtrack for a quick second here. Ryan has a really good question, actually. Are they, so he's talking about the Steelers game. Are they going to put Ben in a pass heavy, deep ball type of game, or are they going to hope Najee gets a bunch of holes to run through? I don't think Najee is as healthy as I think he's starting because he can run on the field and he could probably carry it with his other arm. But I think they're probably going to use their other running backs for the majority of their run game. I don't think they're going to make Ben throw a deep ball. Ben likes to throw those sideline screamers kind of idea. He likes to wide receiver screens, cross shallows, slants, like just get the ball out of Ben's hands and he can be still effective because he's played for so long. He's a smart quarterback. So yeah, Ryan, Benny Snell, or why am I drawing a blank on the other? Yeah, Benny
I
Snell will be the one that you gets
I
most of the
think the
touches.
Steelers definitely lean on their run game a lot. The Chiefs have a run defense ranked in the bottom third of the league. They've definitely had some holes in their run game all season. I think it's going to be a big game for Pat Freiermuth. Ben's going to do whatever he can to avoid the honey badger Tyrann Mathieu. So that's going to be a lot of relying on the run game and on his rookie tight end Freiermuth.
Really. Okay, so we got a difference there. 49ers at the Dallas Cowboys. I'll start with this one because this one's my upset. The Cowboys are the favorites at 3 points, but the 49ers, I think, have everything to upset the Cowboys. Cowboys defense relies heavily on, turning the ball over with Diggs on the back end, with Micah Parsons disrupting the quarterback. I think if there's somebody who can scheme up a game plan to eliminate your best players on defense, it's probably Kyle Shanahan. Debo Samuel has been unbelievable all year. Give me George Kittle in there. Even someone like, I'm not sure if Elijah Mitchell is going to be back for this game. But even using a guy like Kyle Juszczyk as sort of a dual purpose kind of player, I like what the 49ers do. I know you're probably gritting your teeth at me for this one, but that is my upset of the week.
No, it's. I mean, I could see it happening. I'm picking the Cowboys in that game, but it definitely has all the recipe for an upset for the Niners going into Jerry's world and picking up a win out there. I mean, it's going to be for the Niners, it's going to be, and for the Cowboys, it's going to be, can they stop Deebo Samuel? And for the Niners, it's going to be what Jimmy Garoppolo shows up.
Yeah.
Those are going to be the kind of, I would say, two keys to the game. Is those kind of two players on the 49ers side. If it's bad Jimmy, or the Cowboys are able to shut down Deebo a little bit even, that's going to sway things definitely in the Cowboys' favor. I mean, them not having Michael Gallup certainly hurts the offense, but I'm taking the Cowboys at home in a win.
Interesting. Yeah, I think that's probably going to be the best game of the weekend. And that's saying something, considering the Bengals Raiders game coming down to kind of the final play there. But I'm looking very much forward to that game. I also think Mike McCarthy is kind of a crappy head coach. So I could see Mike McCarthy losing them the game by, like, I don't know, maybe it's in the red zone. It's like fourth and goal from like the 3-yard line, and he kicks to get the points. Like, it just seems like a Mike McCarthy thing to do.
I mean, he's not Matt LaFleur.
Yeah, he's worse than Matt LaFleur.
LaFleur did that exact thing last year.
Yeah, Matt LaFleur wins games though. Okay, let's do Monday's game. This one, I'm going to let you go first, because you're just, I can't see how this is fun for you to pick, because not only did we just talk about one of your division rivals in the playoffs, but let's talk about the other two division rivals of the Seahawks, both in the playoffs. Isn't this a little weird? 5 of our 6 division rivals made the playoffs. What a piss off of a year. But Arizona Cardinals at the LA Rams. Who do you got?
Give me little Kyler Murray.
Really?
And the Arizona Cardinals. And I'm not even going to call it an upset, because they are division opponents. And anytime you get those divisional games, like, just weird things happen. So I'm not going to call it an upset. The Cardinals are going to have JJ Watt back for this game. I haven't heard or really looked into anything about DeAndre Hopkins, if he's going to be back or not. But I mean, really, it comes down to Matt Stafford. And he could make me eat my words, and I might get this one wrong. But Stafford's never has he ever even made the playoffs? He's never won a playoff game. He's never been to the playoffs. He's never played in a big game. So yeah, give me Kyler Murray and the Cardinals.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Rams. I just think they have too much talent on both sides of the ball. Not that the Cardinals don't, but is it really Matt Stafford's fault when Detroit never had a defense, and they gave him Megatron and said, just keep throwing it to him and that's it? You are right. Stafford has struggled down the stretch. The other thing with this game too is they're playing at SoFi for the first playoff game ever. The Super Bowl is going to be in SoFi, but I've heard that the home team at SoFi isn't always either LA team. It's sometimes the road team traveling a little better. Arizona's not too geographically far away from LA, so I'm excited for that game. I'm hoping that's the game that's just an absolute shootout. Just one of those classic games. I can remember, about 10 years ago, it was like the Falcons versus the Packers, and it was just like touchdown after touchdown after touchdown. And you're like, yes, like, because this isn't my team. I just want to see some wild, like, scoring just come out of nowhere. So we have a couple differences there, Chris. We will see who wins round one.
I guess we should have written these down.
Oh, I did. Don't worry.
Okay.
I'm collecting receipts, bud.
Keep the receipts, Steve.
Keep the receipts from my 1-1 picks today. Okay, so before we leave, let's we're not going to stay on too long today. Let's end it with your Super Bowl prediction.
Yeah, so out of the AFC, they're getting the king back just in time for the divisional round of the playoffs. Representing the AFC, I am taking the Tennessee Titans. That might just also be because I'm cheering for the Titans the rest of the way, but yeah, I think they have. I think they have a good shot. I mean, they're getting Derrick Henry back right in time. He's going to be healthy. If their defense can hold up, there's no reason why that offense can't put up a bunch of points. And on the NFC side, this makes me want to throw up a little bit in my mouth. The Dallas Cowboys.
Really?
Yeah.
The Dallas Cowboys are going to the Super Bowl, Chris just said.
Going to the Super Bowl.
Wow.
So I'm pitting friend of the show, Christian, up against my and one of his best friends, my Uncle Ron, pitting them against each other in a head-to-head matchup.
Wow. I love that pick, Chris. Just because I did not see that coming. Like if you want some hot takes, that was a fun one right there. Okay, I struggled with this one, earlier today. Part of me wanted to pick both number one seeds. Then part of me said, when does that ever happen? When do things ever go to plan? I think Green Bay is stacked top to bottom, quarterback, running back, receivers. They're getting David Bakhtiari back, so their line is going to improve. Their defense is loaded with talent. Rashawn Gary just coming on so strong in the last little bit here. I have Green Bay going against Buffalo, and I'm so happy with the way Buffalo played. You kind of are right. This sucks to say because these are the last two teams to essentially eliminate the Ravens from the playoffs. But I had to decide between Tennessee and Buffalo. I think those are the two most likely. And then part of me also struggled with this idea of like, well, Kansas City has Patrick Mahomes. Kansas City has this explosive offense. Kansas City has a defense that underwhelms for lots of the year, and then they come on strong at the end of the year and carry them. I think the AFC, like it has been the entire year, is going to be a crapshoot throughout this playoffs. And since my team isn't in it, I am looking forward to all sorts of chaos. That is my one hope for the playoffs, is that the wildest crap you've ever seen in football happens this year, because my heart went through a lot this season, and I just want other people to go through just a fraction of some of the heart attack moments I had this year. So give me chaos for 500.
All right, let's get some double overtime in the Super Bowl.
Imagine. Overtime rules. It's only 10 minutes. Remember, imagine this, that overtime in the playoffs, and they drove down the field and scored a touchdown to end it. Oh my God. This is my buddy here. Let's call him the resident Steelers fan of the show, because we haven't had another Steelers fan pop on. Winston was very, very polite to me when I saw him at work, and didn't rub it in. Congratulations on your Steelers win. He says the Steelers winning it will be wild. Yeah.
And then you turn off your PlayStation and go to bed. And
yeah. So what did you really do to make the Steelers win on Madden? Well, we got rid of Ben Roethlisberger.
We put it on rookie mode.
What's lower than rookie mode on Madden, Chris? Because that's where I'm going with it. Oh,
somehow they're playing the Detroit Lions. Nobody understands how they got there.
That's right. Yeah, how did the Lions make it in? I don't know. It's Madden.
Yeah.
Okay, let's we're gonna be on tomorrow, everybody, at our usual time.
So sorry, hold on.
Go ahead.
We heard, who do you have winning the Super Bowl?
Oh, right. We were picking a Super Bowl win. I'm picking the Packers. I'm picking the Pack Attack to win the playoffs. Like for all the reasons I said. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going Titans. So
Titans.
We're both picking one seeds. Really, real brave of us.
You know what? I had some real good hot takes on our preseason shows, and we'll recap those at some future date from now. But it didn't work out for me then. Why would I keep doing it now?
Yeah.
More of a realistic pick. So make sure you guys join us tomorrow. We'll probably be on at our normal time, maybe even a couple minutes earlier than we normally are. Like Chris said, we are part of the Dean Blundell network. You can find our show there, and as well as some articles that we write at deanblundell.com. Thanks again to our sponsors, Bad Tattoo Brewing in Kelowna and Lake Therapy Apparel. Go check out their stuff, badtattoobrewing.com and laketherapyapparel.ca. And I guess I should give you the last words today as well, Chris.
Yeah, guys, please give us a follow over on Twitter at ballhawks_pod. Don't forget Steve and I, Steve at ssfisher87. You can find me at phillipschris12. You can find us wherever you listen to your podcasts, Apple, Spotify, Google, Castbox is, I think, one that I've heard of before. And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast wherever you do listen, and leave us a rating and a review. Don't know if you guys know this or not. You can actually go on Spotify and leave a 5-star review over there now as well. So we would really appreciate that. Just, helps with all sorts of things. And I guess for my final word today, guys, because, the Seahawks aren't playing. So I guess tighten up.
Ooh, very bold of you, Chris. Peace.